Okay, so I start the little trees with 2 of these cardboard cutouts. And I like this kind of cardboard, which is kind of just the non-corrugated kind, but you really can use whatever kind of cardboard you have. This is cardboard that I recycled from the back of a pad. Now, I always have this because I go through watercolor paper and pads of drawing paper like a maniac. So I save these, and I always have something to, I use this to draw on, so I'll take paper and, you know, tape it to the back of this, or I'll use it to draw on, or I'll use the cardboard again. So I always have those because I go through so much paper. So here I have cut these out of that kind of cardboard, but this can also be cereal boxes or pasta boxes. It's not quite as heavy as this, but it's a similar type of cardboard. Recycled cardboard is a good way to go. Kids love making these. They're really fun if you're having like a party, because you can throw them together really quickly. So originally I drew a pattern for this, and it's really just so simple because it's just, you know, you make like a little, it's almost like a pyramid shape, and then another one, and another one, and another one. And so it's a very easy pattern to make. And then you just, you know, once you have it drawn out, or you could just make a very basic, like a cone shape. It doesn't have to have, you know, the zigzags. It's up to you how you want to do it. They always come out really cute, so it doesn't really matter. And then what I like to do from here is I get it cut before I paint it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So then what I do is I go about 2/3 of the way up from the bottom on one. And then I go about halfway down from the top on the other. And once we get this all put together and adjusted and it's standing up, then we can choose a color and paint it. So once you push it all the way down, it stands up. Okay. And it comes out, it's really cute when it's all painted. Now, the purists will immediately want to paint this green. And I'm going to beg you to not paint it green, please. Please don't. I'm going to do something crazy and paint it a different color than you expect it to be painted, just because I don't like things to be too normal. So I'm going to paint it a different color altogether. I don't want to see any kind of green trees. So I'm going to paint mine kind of a bright pink color because I want mine to be different. I never paint mine a traditional color, so mine's going to be pink. And that's what I'm going to do. I love doing these in acrylic because they dry so fast and you can get right down to gluing. And you can get gluing on the ornaments, which is the fun part, I think. These take 2 seconds to paint. And I would use a heavy body paint on these because you want to get good coverage. So I'm using regular acrylic paint. I'm not using liquid paint. I'm not using soft body paint. I'm using regular acrylic paint that I would do a painting with. Really thick, heavy body paint because it's going to cover in one layer. It's going to get me good coverage, lots of nice color in one go. And I am going to brush it out pretty good because I want it to dry really quickly. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. I think doing recycled and eco-friendly projects with kids is really important because it just shows them that not everything has to be thrown away after one use, and that we can turn, discarded items into beautiful, useful things like art. It's just a really important lesson. So what I'm doing here is I mixed up just a little bit of white with that magenta acrylic paint, and now I'm just adding a little bit more color onto just the straight magenta because I wanted to add a little bit more texture. I thought it would look a little bit more interesting if it had more texture and dimension, and I really loved the way it turned out when I was done. Since it has to be dry when I add the embellishments and the little sequins and stuff, I'm going to blow dry, and I've been blow drying between layers. So having a blow dryer in the studio is really helpful. I have some in my teaching studio, so they're fairly easy to find secondhand. You could buy one, at a thrift shop or at a tag sale or yard sale. They're really, really a nice thing to have because if you're doing watercolors or gouache or acrylic, it really does help speed things up because there's a lot of times when you just need a layer to be dry and you don't have the time to waste in between or overnight for it to get dry. It's just an extra step that you can avoid just by having the blow dryer there, because it literally will take like 2 minutes to dry it with the blow dryer rather than waiting like several hours for something to dry. So now I blow dried the tree, and it's all dry, and I have some E6000 glue, which is really sticky, and I'm going to attach some embellishments. Now let me squish some of this out first. It's a very, very tacky glue, and it's good for attaching smooth things to porous things. You could attach pretty much anything to anything else. It's good for repairs. Probably says it's industrial strength. Okay, so now I have this kind of a sequin mix that I always seem to be gifted with. People give me this stuff all the time at my studio, so I always have lots of this stuff. So anyway, I'm going to use some of this to embellish my tree. I think I'm going to use a big one of these to make a gold star on top of my tree here. And that's going to go on top. right there. That's going to be my gold star. And then what I'm going to do from there is I'm just going to go ahead and start putting, I'll start putting some of these round bits on here and bedazzling my tree here. So once I start doing this, I will add these all over the tree like I'm doing here. And because this is such a sticky glue, oh, here, this is actually what I'm going to be doing, is that I'm going to go back and add these little guys later. Little sequins to the big sequins. Like so. Just to jazz it up a little bit. Because it looks really cute that way. So obviously you can do any kind of a color theme that you want to do, or you can do an all over theme with color. You could really plan it any way you want. And, you know, it comes out really, really cute. I just really think they're adorable. And they're just so much fun. Anyone can do them. It's just a really simple, easy beginner project for the whole family. I hope you enjoy it. So these are little paper mache ornaments that I buy. And I love to paint and do different projects with. And a while back, I think I showed how I draw and paint on the round ones. These are a little different shapes, so sometimes I paint and collage on these. And they're pretty sturdy, but very lightweight paper mache. And I have two here that I painted with a light, kind of a mustardy yellow color. And acrylic paint. Because acrylic paint dries so fast and it's really easy. And then I have, now I saved these, but these come in the mail and they're, you know, from the seed catalogs, and I really love these. So I'm going to pick out something that will go with the yellow. I was thinking something complementary, so like a red-violet color, because I really want a complementary pop. So this is like, I think something like this is really going to pop with the yellow. This is phlox. This too is very more of a red-violet. So anything like that's more of a red-violet is going to pop. So I'm going to go through these. And anything that has like a red-violet, I'm going to go ahead and put some things aside. And I'm going to create some little bits of collage for these two ornaments. Now, I always use the egg carton, because otherwise these things get away from me and they roll all over. But if I put them in a egg crate, they just stay right where they're supposed to stay. I'll meet you right back here when I have my collage bits cut out. So now I have a bunch of collage picked out, and I have this bright yellow gold. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my collage to my ornament. And so what I did was I chose some red violet phlox, which is a flower. And I'm going to go around and I'm going to attach these pieces of collage to this. And the red violet is a complementary color. So how do I know that? Yellow and violet are opposite each other on the color wheel. And when we put those two colors next to each other, they vibrate. So they create tension and they pop when they're next to each other. So, you know, purple or violet and yellow are complementary colors. So if you have a regular color wheel, you can see that. And red violet or blue violet will do the same thing. And so that's what I've chosen. And it just gives a dynamic color palette. So when you choose two complements. Now, if we were mixing paint and we mix those two colors together, they would create a neutral color. So that's another way to create like a neutral, like a brown or a gray or a black, is when you mix those two colors together. So when we put them next to each other, they vibrate, but when we mix them together, they create neutrals. So that's just something to know about complementary colors. But they always look exciting when we put them next to each other. So that's what I'm doing here. And I think it'll look pretty cute. So I really love doing collage. Now what I'm using here is regular acrylic matte medium, which is not glue. Acrylic matte medium is exactly like the paint. And you can use it to attach collage. It just has no pigment in it. I have large pieces and then some small pieces to add to the bigger pieces to make them more interesting. And so that's what I'm doing. So I'm putting the matte medium underneath and then again on top. And then I'm pushing out all the air bubbles with my brush. This also So as a last step on these little ornaments, after I put all the collage on and add all the little extra bits and pieces, I like to take some metallic gold paint and I just add a little bit here and there. Because this is already a yellow gold, it kind of goes on, and I don't cover all the paint, so I'm just going over bits and pieces of it, and it does make a big difference in the bling factor. So they get very kind of antique-y looking a little bit, and they glisten a little bit. They're really fun with a little bit of extra added bling. This one's already done. Just a little bit of the shiny on there. It's kind of fun. Really cute.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It really helps my channel grow, and I do appreciate it so much. Thanks for being here, and please come again soon.